Hi, happy New Year to everyone. My name is HariKrishnan, and as Nandana introduced me, I am working as a scientist engineer in ISRO for the past 2 years. So actually, Satish Uncle texted me 2 weeks back asking if I can speak here today. So the funny thing is, Uncle has a tradition of inviting everyone to the stage to speak about themselves at every important milestone in everyone's life. Let's say when you graduate 12th, or you graduate out of university, or you get a job. So in one way or the other, I have succeeded in evading all three of them over the past 8 or 10 years. So when Uncle texted me, he was like, Hari, can you speak at this event? In my mind, it was indirectly, he was telling me, Hari, time's up. Now you have to speak. So, let me begin by telling that getting the WiSE certification is something that everyone should be proud of. And I'm sure that the WiSE Vivians who are graduating today, your parents are probably the proudest people on the planet right now, because throughout your life you have been taught to, study a certain way, lead life a certain way. You are gauged on how you perform at school and university. But this is the only place where your character is being judged. And Uncle's, Vika's WiSE certification is testimony to the character that you have developed over the years. So I think the WiSE Vivians who are graduating today, you guys deserve a round of applause. So Uncle has done a good job. I'm not supposed to say he has done a good job. Okay, he has done a good job training all of you. And the best thing that he has done is he has taught the Bhagavad Gita in a way that is helpful for you to compete in the real world. So up until now, you have been taught to do things a certain way, but the moment you step out of school and you enter university, the real challenge is going to emerge. And that is when all that you have learned here is going to become helpful. So I actually don't have a prepared speech. Libana was behind me. She was like, what are you going to say? What are you going to say? What are you going to say? And I'm like, I have no clue. So whatever I'm telling today is coming from my experience, and it's truly coming from my heart. So I'm not fabricating or cooking stories for you guys. Okay. So the first thing I would like to tell is get ready to embrace uncertainty. You are about to enter a world that is full of surprises and opportunities. And the successful people are those who have found a way to transform the fear of uncertainty into curiosity for unpredictability. So you have to get into the habit of chasing that adrenaline rush that you get when you find something unpredictable, and don't get into the habit of running away from the things that you have to do. Which brings me to my second point, that is to commit to lifelong learning. Again, you are in a world today which is slowly being eaten up by artificial intelligence, and your role as a person has to become more prominent as you go ahead. So, it's always helpful if you are at least 0.1 or 0.01% better than you were yesterday. And that's why you should commit to lifelong learning, so that you actually have a chance to make a stand in the real world. And the third thing, one of the very important things, is to define success on your own terms. I should not say this out loud, but people in Kerala are very nosy. I live in a society that dictates how success should be, what success is all about. And obviously, you will have certain family members who are more than willing to see you grow in all your might. But there are people who have this rudimentary idea of how you should be leading your life. And to that I say, just cut it all out, just filter it, it's all noise. So, whether you want to become an entrepreneur, or you want to become, you want to get into research, you want to be a doctor, anything in life, science, arts, whatever, get into the habit of doing the things that you love. Okay, the only caveat over here being you should do your passion, but you should be smart about it. Obviously, life is not dictated by the titles that you have and the bank balances that you have. The funny story is, I think one of the most transformative experiences of my life was when Achan sent me for driving a manual car. And up until that point, I wanted to drive just so that, okay, I am 21, 22 years old. It's high time that I know driving. But I felt like, learning to drive a manual car was probably the biggest achievement in my life. For me, it was like at that time, whether I graduated 12th with good marks or whether I cleared the JEE or whether I am studying in an esteemed university, nothing mattered to me. But, the fact that I can shift, stick and play around with the car's gears, somehow that was truly transformative for me. To a point where I actually thought of, taking up a profession as an Uber driver for a while. But then again, society. So I also slowly succumbed to society's benefits and intentions and all that. But again, find your passions, but be smart about it because at the end we all need bank balance. We can't survive without paying our bills. So that's very important. The fourth thing is to nurture your relationships with your friends and especially family. No one achieved success on their own. No one can. And I think the thing is to nurture your relationships with your friends and especially family. No one achieved success on their own. No one can. And I think, especially we always find ourselves at fault or at against each other with our families because they'll have some other hopes of, us doing something. But I think this is where you should negotiate because I can say one thing for certain is that your colleagues are going to have agendas, your friends can have agendas, the society outside can have agendas, but the one and only the two people in your life who will not have an agenda and their only agenda is to actually care about your growth is your parents. So listen to them, and when you are not able to find common ground, negotiate. Don't think that your parents are wrong. True, they can be wrong. They are not gods. They are as imperfect as other human beings, but they are the only ones who don't have an agenda. And that is what you should keep in mind whenever you try to compare differing opinions, especially from your colleagues, friends, and parents. Last but not least, fear of failure. In school, we are taught that the antonym of success is failure. That's a very misleading term because I believe failure is a part of success. I sincerely hope all the WiSE who are graduating out of here, please fail as much as you can. Because if you were to draw a success versus time graph in your life, a non-decreasing graph is much better than a constantly increasing one. Because let's say a super meritorious student, they will keep succeeding and succeeding and succeeding, and then one fine day, failure, the universe decides to time to put you down. And that can be too grave and too big of a failure that some people don't even get back up from. So it's better to keep falling down on your way up. So what matters is a non-decreasing graph and not a constantly increasing graph. And don't try to seek perfection in everything you do. Sometimes it's a little paradoxical, I get it, but the thing about perfection is the more you seek perfection, the more you lose sight of what you want to achieve. And at the end of the day, what matters is you muster the courage to do what is to be done. Perfection can wait. Perfection will follow, but no one can ever be perfect because, what is the price to perfection? It's only an end to pursuit. What after that? Nothing. So, again, perfection can be a misleading term in today's world, but do what is necessary to be done. I want to close, that's all I have to say, but I want to close my speech with something that my parents did like around 8 or 10 years back. 10 years back, I don't know how many of you know, but I used to be a UC Mass champion. I was a 2-time champion, in fact. I was a national champion. So it was a big deal at the time. I don't know if still UC Mass is still operating, but okay, anyways, I was a champion at the time, that's all that matters. So it was a big deal, a lot of, celebrations, this, that and all. But after, one competition was in 1 year, the next competition was in the second year. And after both competitions, after I won both competitions, as we got back into the car on our way home, Achanamma told me something very specifically. I didn't understand the meaning of it back then. And in fact, it got me thinking, why would they say that? So what they told me was, in the grand scheme of things, this is one small achievement. So I'm like, damn man, it's an incredible turn off. I won a championship. Why do they have to say that? It took me another 10 years to realize what that meant, because now I'm kind of like a celebrity in my neighborhood. Being a scientist engineer is something that is an incredibly coveted job in Trivandrum, and people see me like, yeah, HariKrishnan, 25 years old, at this mere age of 25, you are a gazetted officer, level 10, this blah blah blah. To them, I just smile and say, in the grand scheme of things, this is one small achievement. So yeah, the graduating WiSE, I wish you guys the very best. You have a world of opportunity awaiting you, whatever you have learned here. And one more thing is that don't learn whatever Satish Uncle is teaching you here, don't learn those things with your head or by your heart, but with your heart, because at someday in your life you will reach a crossroad, and at that time whatever is being taught here will come back as a whisper, and that will help you make the right decision. So once again, Happy New Year to all, and thank you very much.